Hello, everyone. So I am going to now lead you through kind of a sample of the sort of rhetorical analysis that we're hoping that you will do in your groups today. We've chosen global activism websites as a topic that possibly intersects with the interests of both of our classes. And I wanted to take as a starting point, I hope you can see it. This is the home page for the CARE organization, the international homepage. I don't know how much of the words you can make out, but I'm sure that you can see the central logo, which is shaped in the shape of the world with all the hands overlapping. And so they're definitely, even with their branding or the way they establish their ethos or authority on this page, trying to make you understand their mission, which is to bring people together to lend helping hands to women and children in need. What really strikes me, and again, the text might be too small for you to see, is the way the words are arranged around this globe-like image in the middle. And it's the name of the partner countries that have actual websites hooked into the CARE network. There are actually over 70 partner countries, but only a certain number have the technology to have websites. But what's really interesting about this is that although all the names are represented in Western characters, a lot of the nation names are actually in their native language. So for instance, right here, this one is Österreich, which is Austria, which I didn't know till I looked it up. And notice also the symmetry of the page and the way it balances this sort of ethos symbol in the center with this image at the bottom, which is definitely geared more toward, first of all, connecting with the audience through these images of women and children looking happy and hopeful, as well as providing evidence for the work that CARE is doing. Now, the central focus for the analysis I'm going to provide today actually comes off of the the U.S. CARE website, which I hope you can all see. It's slide 4. And right away, you can see the way in which this page builds off of the representations established in the international site, but customizes them for its new audience, which are U.S. citizens. Notice right here, it identifies itself in the upper left-hand corner with the CARE logo, so it establishes itself in context of the organization. When I look at this page, however, my eye first goes to the picture of these young girls in school uniform, which resonates with the heading, The Power of Education. And this, I think, is a deliberate attempt by the website's designers to help the people coming to this page make a connection with the people that this organization is helping. And then up here in the corner, to complement this image, is a definition of what CARE does, which I know is difficult to see here. The next thing that interests me about this page, actually, from the standpoint of how it's trying to accomplish its purpose, given its specific audience and rhetorical situation, is this list of links that it includes right here. And the first one says, donate now. And I think that's rather significant because they're anticipating visitors to this site who are not only interested in news and the events from this program, but are also very much interested in thinking about contributing to it themselves financially. And so that's definitely a priority for the U.S. site. If we go to slide 5, which is actually the same page just at the bottom, I wanted to point out the way in which the CARE organization supplements these other appeals by using evidence here at the bottom of the way in which the program has contributed in very real ways to accomplishing its outcomes through the use of graphics such as pie charts, through statistics, and it's really trying to make a case that this is a worthwhile institution that people should contribute their time and their money to. Now, if you were working on this in your group, you could move from here into a deeper cross-cultural analysis in a variety of ways. One way would be to go back to that original website that I was at initially, that was on slide 3, the international gateway, and choose a different country to look at the way the same purposes and goals are accomplished on different sites. For instance, this is the CARE website off of that page for the United Kingdom. Again, you see the prevalence of the CARE logo, but you see a very different layout. You see a very different way of reaching its audience. Notice the different type of picture, although they both rely on the emotional appeal of pictures. The pictures themselves are very differently oriented. Or we could look, for instance, at the Austria page that I referred to before. Notice here, focus on volunteers and outreach. I actually can't read the text, but because of language difficulties. But I wonder if there's still that same impulse toward donating. And whether it's donating money or donating time, the image makes me believe that it might be more about donating time. If I were working with this in a group, this is something I would definitely look into. Another thing that I might do is look, for instance, at the Canada website, which I think is really interesting, because this speaks to Canada's recognition that it has a diverse population. Canada, instead of having a traditional web page like the others we saw, has a gateway page, which means that this page is intended to provide sort of an entryway into a more complex site. And what's interesting is it has English, French, and I believe it's Spanish up here, recognizing the different language of its population, so allowing the audience to streamline their encounter in this way. Lastly, I just wanted to point out the site from Thailand, the CARE site, again, the same CARE logo. Different layout, different iconography. This page would provide a really interesting way to talk about East-West differences. Also, what was very funny to me is to notice up here in this corner, it actually says English. And in this case, although there are definitely English-speaking people in Thailand, I think it's more a tab that's put there in recognition that English has become sort of the universal language of the web, for better or for worse. So it speaks to a different reason for including different languages. Now, in your own work, what I hope that you will take out of this as you move into your own group analysis is the way in which these pages are not just static documents, but part of larger websites. So I hope you will explore the different links on your pages, and I hope you will think not only about the rhetorical features of the pages, but how they operate in a cross-cultural context, and also within a technological context as well. So having said that,